Okay, Mindy's presenting first, Kate.
Mindy showed me how not to make an operating system.
If I can, I will.
Oh, she's gone.
Huh?
You're not on the call anymore.
Would you like me
Yeah,
to
because everything is
Would you like me to fix that?
Oh, is wonky?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Kate. 1 second.
It's done.
Use Chrome.
I
I am
intimidated
using
it.
Oh.
Okay.
That's what happened. I intimidated it.
This cat has insisted on sitting on me, so.
Oh, she's so cute. I had a cat that looked just like that. Her name is Kitty.
Are we good this time? You got me?
Okay. All right, Mindy.
We're good?
We're ready for you.
You know what? Let me try to fix these slides. This is ridiculous. This is the worst light right here. Is that better?
Yes, but
Should I pull out my redone flowcharts and wireframes?
Sure. So
Okay.
just, yeah, you don't need to go through the whole proposal again. Let's just take a look at the.
Yeah, no, this is just my new stuff.
Yeah.
flow charts are.
Can you hear okay, Kate?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be great.
This computer is slow. Oh.
You're making me tired now too. Everyone's sleepy this morning.
This is going to be fast, but I guess not.
So, it knows that you have a quick presentation, it's just compensating.
Just the beginning stuff is supposed to be fast. Flowchart and design and whatever. So if you remember my old one,
Yeah.
there was a lot of like, it was very just getting all my ideas out. Oh my God. Pretty cool. So I redid it a little bit so it's easier to read. And I got rid of some of my extra text so it has, you know, just image slider content instead of like a whole paragraph saying what it is. And I relaid it out so it's like this. You can tell they all go to the same thing. And it says links to external pages, and they're all color coded differently than stuff down here, so you should be able to work that much out. And it's not letting me scroll, but you can see enough of it. Like it's, you know, the home page, which is different from the the top nav options, and then stuff that goes down from there. I didn't change a whole lot. I changed like there's how-to videos instead of just a generic section. Catering is in 2 different places. I didn't know if you wanted me to connect them to show that they're the same thing or if just the same name is fine. And yeah, I added 1 here and 1 here. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Oh, why don't you finish presenting all your stuff? We'll come back to it. Oh, leave it open so we can talk about it some more.
Whoops.
I can't wait to until that thing loads so we can zoom in because I know you got a lot of great ideas in there. I'm just so darn blind. I wish I could see.
And if Adobe would actually like work, be great.
I know, it's really slow.
And I fixed my wireframes from last time, which is what I'm trying to load here.
Did you?
I did.
See, I already got like my nose in your brow. Like you were such the inspiration for like everything to help get me.
For once, I have my stuff together. So here's my better wireframes. I lowered the. It was at like 3-stroke last time, and this is. I mean, this is 1, but the rest of it is 2, so you can still see it pretty good because I'm blind. So this helps me see pretty good.
So much better.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I like it a little bit more. Now that I can see what's up. There's that one, and then there's this one. So I added a search bar, and yeah, like you said, I put in the actual text when I actually had the text to put in there.
Because then it shows us your decision making in terms of priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious to us that you're thinking, okay, in the mobile version, math and hours, it's really context sensitive because she's thinking someone's on their phone, they're like, wait, where the hell is that store? You know, I want to know where that's because they're in their car or they're just trying to look it up really quickly. You might indicate like a phone number right on top or, you know, just because when you're presenting this to the client, you want to show that you're being conscientious about the context of when someone is accessing this information. So we've always, when we talk about usability, we talk about user type, whether it's a 25-year-old, very tech savvy, or if you're a 60-something-year-old, we talk about that a lot. But when you're thinking, especially when it comes to mobile, to be thinking about context. So where in what state of mind are you in when you're using this? Before it was always, oh, I'm sitting and looking at my computer. But now, there are all sorts of crazy contexts that you might be in.
Right.
I checked into a Southwest flight today as I was running. That is kind of a weird context.
Yep.
But I was able to do it, when, unfortunately not soon enough because I'm C2, but whatever. Anywho, so good. I would with these, and I hope you guys are appreciating the fact that she taking out all of those gray. Do you remember how she had it so heavy gray? It allows us to see what's important, which is the content. And I think that's what you want to be doing.
Cool.
I would tighten up your alignment. I think it'll just look more organized, and you have a lot of different alignment points is what I'm trying to say. So
Okay.
so where you have local grower spotlight, that's
it's not aligned
indented.
here.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
if you go to your other one, I would stretch the image slider out to just align perfectly with your local grower spotlight and featured recipes.
Okay.
And if you're thinking about development tools like Bootstrap, for example, if you were using Bootstrap, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a big Bootstrap user.
Is that a wireframing?
Bootstrap is
Responsive.
an open source system to allow you to make websites. Did you take Scott Granneman for 3100?
I did.
Did he get into Bootstrap at all?
Not really.
Did
We
you
talked about it, but now it's all coming back.
Okay, so basically what it can, instead of writing all the CSS and everything by hand, you can say, okay, this content is going to take 3 columns, whereas this content is going to take 1 column. And those 3 columns are going to be lined up like this, in a mobile, but then that's going to squish down to 1 column when you pull it up on a phone. So, to me, the slider feels like you have a 3-column layout, and the slider is just squished down. It feels like it should occupy the 3 columns.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Good progress. Can you go back to that flow chart real quick?
Yes.
What do you think so much better, don't you think?
I know. How did you do that?
The other time I used a flowchart maker online just to get stuff out there. This is with Illustrator, and I did a lot of copying and just it didn't take all that long, but it's much more precise than the other one.
But just subtle things like her line work. I know I talk on some people must roll their eyes about toning down your lines, but you see what a difference it makes here? It allows us to focus on the content and not all of these pathways. We can still see the lines perfectly, but they don't need to be 3 pixels bold, because that's not the important part of your content. We can see it. So you want the other things to stand out. I'm a little bit confused though about those red blurbs that are coming off of home screen as opposed to the blue blurbs that are coming off of home screen. How are they different?
These link to external pages. This is not within the website. This goes out. Remember those are the 6 boxes that I had. I figured this would be the simplest way to get that across. They're different colors. It says links to external. They do not link to pages within the site, so it's not in this tree. They go outside.
Okay.
I didn't want to use a key because, like you said, you didn't want to keep looking back and forth between the different colors. I figured that would be enough. Should I do something else?
No, I just don't know but because it seems like a lot of those things are featured on your homepage. They're content blurbs.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say they go to another site, now why aren't they going to be pages on the site? Like directions and hours. Aren't those pages in this? Isn't that a page in the site?
No, I have it so the hours is just right there in the little bubble, and then the directions goes to a Google Maps page.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
get
makes
the
sense.
map goes to the store, local grower goes to that person's site, that kind of thing.
I see. So I think I would refer to them as they're content blurbs for your homepage.
Mm-hmm.
So my suggestion would be I like the way that you're doing a different color, but I would add in your description content blocks on homepage that link to external pages.
Okay.
Because you are going to pull some of that content into the homepage.
Mm-hmm.
And then because there are, I don't know, then if that were made clear, then I think that's fine.
Okay.
I was gonna suggest maybe like an oval shape or something to indicate these are not pages. Everything else is a page. This is more of a content blurb.
Mhm.
And then your image slider content, those are content blurbs. So those might be that same shape as well. Those seem more related to me
Same
than
shape, different color, differentiate the two, because these go internal.
perhaps.
Okay.
But I just think if that explanation was like, these are content blurbs on the home screen, or maybe put a header above it, like content, home blurbs on content, and then underneath this would be site architecture.
Okay.
Or something like that. Label them differently.
Okay.
And then, you know, I would not put them, I would somehow indicate maybe that they're the same page. You're catering in catering, maybe a dash line between them to
Okay,
indicate
yeah, that's what I was asking.
something like that. I don't know.
Same page. Okay.
Yeah, but it looks good, Mindy. It's great progress.
Cool. And now that we've taken my wireframes, let's look at the stuff that I built where they're done.
You are so ahead of your game.
I know, right?
Leaves you time for people.
So this is what I worked out for the homepage. This one I'm still in the process of making a better graphic for. I've wrestled with it for like 3 hours trying to find a way to, because I wanted to use this font because that's the font of the thing, but it wasn't reading very well. And then I had like a little box, but that wasn't very good. Like I'm still wrestling with the exact sort of thing, but it's kind of like this. This is the general feel of what it is. This should be white, not gray. And so yeah, this is the home page for that design, and then this would be a secondary page for that design. And then I only have one of the phone ones right now, but yeah.
What do you guys think?
It's all right. Aesthetically, the branches should not go over the nav bar. The photo should not have drop shadows.
When you say should not, what can you explain?
Not should not.
But I
Well,
mean, according to Zach, but like, why is that problematic?
it's distracting. For one, the branches go over the nav bar. That's Line Wednesdays is hard to read. It has all the concepts of a good web page. I just don't think it's executed correctly, properly.
What do you guys think? What, I mean, anybody other have any thoughts? Kate, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I think the design looks really good. Like you said, I think the photo slider should align with the photos on the bottom. And then I do think maybe this branch at the top with the that's on the menu bar could just go up a little bit, maybe, just so it's not right in between wine and helpful info. But I do like the design.
Oh, Sarah, you there? Hi.
Hi, sorry. I didn't get an invite last week and I was really confused. And
Oh,
I'm just confused. I've never done this kind of learning before.
I'm sorry. I thought I have a list of people that I send invites to. So I'm pretty sure you're in my list. I always send yours every week.
Yeah,
So if you don't get it,
I don't know what happened.
send me an email or something real quick, and I'll be on the lookout for that.
Like normally I get a notification in my inbox, my email inbox, and then I accept it, but I don't know. Whatever, I'm here now.
Okay, good. I feel like it's I feel like it's like a little bit flat. What I would suggest, I think that your branches they're slightly creepy, but they could look kind of cool and organic. Maybe if it were more like vines from a vineyard or something, that kind of thing. But what I would suggest doing is tone them down, maybe even make them larger, but put them in the background. So it looks like a real subtle kind of pattern where it's just like you can kind of see the outlines, and then you could put it behind everything. And then I think that wood stuff, that wood texture that you had was really, it kind of created some depth and some interest, and it's not all just sort of this flat sort of color. Again, I'd widen your thing. I agree with Zach that Wine Wednesdays is a little bit hard to read, but we could just,
Having so much trouble with the graphic.
we might just be seeing it on the projector because of the projector. The other thing you could do, instead of having a banner, it might be a banner with associated text on the side to describe what the event is. I don't know. That's kind of not like an image slider. I would think about, differentiating the background between the top area and the bottom area. I don't have a huge problem with I think the stylized thing, the stylized borders around the images, they do make them stand out and makes me feel like it's like something to click on and go explore because it feels like it has depth. But I don't know if that treatment is kind of like, you have this organic-y kind of thing going and some elegance there, and I don't know if it's like the most elegant treatment for that picture outline. So this is an awesome start. I would just keep honing this. I think your alignment is going to look much better if you stretch the slider out, and then think about what details you want to add on the top too. I mean, you probably want to add a phone number up in the header, and I don't know, some other things like address maybe. I don't know, something like that. Okay. But I would try to set apart your header area from your background. I'm almost thinking like, try it just white, or maybe just a real soft tan. I mean, I guess you don't want to feel real sterile because this is a grocery store. So you want to have this sort of organic. I think I kind of get what you're going for. But I think you need to define the look a little bit more, as opposed to, and then hold all of your decisions up to that like look. Are you going with really elegance, or are you going with like earthy organic? And if you kind of choose one path, then I think your decisions going forward will be a little bit easier.
Okay, I was trying to like hybrid them in like a weird kind of way because I picked that name because it sounds like very, I don't know, like a place that would be in town and country. Like
yeah.
And then I was going with the like Briarwood. It makes me think of this kind of tree.
And it could look, I think if that were just sort of like a subtle backgroundy kind of thing, I'll pull up something and show you what I'm talking about in just a second. Just go over to your other page that you showed. I would make a decision. Either that banner is going to be your full width, or that, or over your content area.
Okay.
And then that typeface for your body paragraph, it's very, very difficult to read.
Okay.
I would not, people are going to print these pages and it's too stylized.
Okay.
And I mean, the quality of that graphic over there is pretty rough. And I know you're just kind of putting it in there for placement right now, but a client would look at that and be like, why does that look so funny with all the, and
I was going to actually ask you about that. I was having difficulty. I made this in Photoshop and it was completely like transparent and it wouldn't save as a PNG. It just
oh, I'll show you that too.
Okay.
Can I jump? I think you're making great progress. Keep going. Keep working on your designs. That's where you are right now. I don't think you need, this little tweaks that we talked about with the other things, but just work on the design work. Keep looking at other sites. Why is yours not looking like, what is the Straub side? I'm sure you're looking at these things, but keep pushing your design. You might want to do one that's more, I'm going to go super organic looking on one, and I'm going to go super whiny elegant on the other. Pick some extremes so that when you show the client can be like, I like this kind of thing here, but I really like this here. So try to pretend you're two different designers.
Okay.
Can you just stay logged in right there, Mindy? I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me show you two things. So let's say you're working in Photoshop and you have a transparent background. So this is, okay, let's say this is a graphic. It's just text though right now, right? This is wine award winner, right? So there's no background, and I want to save it as a transparent PNG for the web. So if I go to, but my background is like, let's say my background is that kind of yellow goldy color that you're using. If I'm gonna do save for web and devices. And when I pick a GIF or a PNG, so we'll just pick PNG right now, you have an option to pick a matte color. And I'm gonna matte it to, whatever my background color. In your case, it's that kind of tanny color. So let's say this is the color right here. I know that's orange, but. And what happens is that when it saves out the image, do you see how there's some kind of orange pixels around the outside? It does that because it's taking the transparent graphic and around the edges, it's kind of going from black to sort of orange to, it's taking those border pixels and blending it into an orange background. So when you create a transparent image in Photoshop that you're going to save as a PNG and a JPEG, you need to matte it to the appropriate background color. So it kind of just blends into the background. Does that make sense? So that's where it is right here on the matte. And it only applied it to this one because this is the one I selected, the amount of compression here. Does that make sense, you guys? I don't know if you've ever done that before. And this is kind of, this is not a brilliant design, but this is kind of the look that I was talking about. This is my shoemaking site. And do you see in the background over here, this kind of like, it's real subtle in the background, pairs of shoes and stuff. And then I put white on top of it. But that background color, you could have these cool branches and stuff that just make it real subtle. And I don't know if I'd put it all through your site. You may do it as like a background layer behind the content proper or something. So when you design, you know, think about that. I don't know. I use that technique a lot. Okay. This is what a big nerd I am. You see the CSS and div tutorials that I'm looking at. Okay. Let me jump over to, who's next? Anybody want to present?
I have a couple things that I could show you guys.
Okay, great. Let me jump over to my Google Chrome. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, Kate, it's all you.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see you. Your face is very large on the screen.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so I kind of just modified my proposal just because we had talked about, I used first person in a couple places. So description of the project, the Jerk Shack's current website needs updating and
no, we don't
renovation.
see your document. You need to share your screen. So click on the green button that says share screen and then show us your document.
I'm clicking on it, but it's not. Oh, okay. Okay,
there we go. Now we can see your document. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. I mostly just changed this one down here, description of project. The Jerk Shack's current website needs updating and renovation. The current color scheme is busy, which makes it hard to distinguish important information from information that is of lesser importance. A few of the pages have not been completed and need maintenance. So then I guess I need to go on to say how I will fix that. And I was just working.
Oh, another thing you might say is that the current design is not easily updatable, and a new design will allow the Jerk Shack to promote special events and special meal specials so that, you know, people will be more inclined to visit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Where's everything going? Okay, so I kind of started wireframes. I made this little logo because the other one is kind of, there's just a lot of content on it. So this would be like a home page. I have a photo stream.
That one. Can you close the Word document and show us?
Oh, gee. Well, I'm confused because I don't have the Word document open, but let's see.
There, now it's closed.
There, I had to click entire screen, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So this is kind of what I was working on. I have a photo stream on the top, and then we had talked about like implementing things that would be useful on the homepage. So I put a map, and I guess I would just embed like a Google map in there.
Mhm.
And then promotions. The Bob Marley is one of like the more famous drinks, so I figured I could put like that there, and then they could click to see the full menu. And then on the bottom of every page, I was just going to do like address, phone number, and hours. And then, let's see. This was another page on the About Us page. I figured I could have, you know, our story here, and then an image, and just maybe some other like blurbs and images up at the top. And I kind of started working on another design for the menu bar. That is pretty much what I have. And then I kind of started messing with the with this a little bit more because my last one wasn't very descriptive. So, and then I was thinking that I probably need to add a contact menu on here just because I do have it at the bottom, but not everyone's going to scroll all the way down. So, so that is what I have so far.
Good. You're making a lot of progress. Do you guys have any comments for Kate?
I have a question regarding the lower level page design. Do we make one page for each of our, like, I don't know, our home button, about us, you know?
Yeah, good question. So no, you're just going to design one lower level page. And so the idea being that your other lower level pages will use a similar template.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to lay out one page. Kate may decide to lay out the menu page. I don't know. But for the wireframe and for the final interface design, it's your home page and one lower level page. And I think I mentioned before, I try to lay out the page that I think is going to have the most complicated content.
Okay.
Because then the simpler pages will work with that template. Do you guys have any other comments for Kate?
What font would she use for the
Can you hear that question? What's your typeface?
The font, let's see. Like what is the font? Let's see.
Yeah.
If this will load. It is marker felt.
Oh, yeah.
It seems kind of tropical to me, but
Yeah.
in a way.
But Mindy, go ahead, Mindy. What were you going to say?
I feel like for a design designation as this, you can find something on Google Fonts or something like that that might be better suited. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong about this one. It's kind of fun, but like, I don't know. I think maybe there could be one that's even better than this one that is available out there. Because I mean, it's okay, but it feels like it could be something.
I only really heard the first part of that.
She thinks you could find a typeface that would be more suited to the whole Jamaican feel. You know,
Okay.
if you don't have much experience doing web development, one of the issues with typefaces is that when you make a website, the page loads, and it needs to figure out what font to display. And back in the day, you would always design your website so that they would you'd only specify things that you know somebody would have. So they call them web safe fonts. And you would typically only design using like Arial, Helvetica, you know, some stuff that you know every computer was going to have. So you could kind of anticipate what that look was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the last like 5 to 10 years, what's happened is that you can now embed fonts into your code. And one of the most common ways to do that is through Google Fonts. So if you just look for Google Fonts, it's a whole collection of fonts that you can reference in your code, and then you don't have to worry whether your user is going to have those fonts on their machine or not. They'll just come up, it'll just appear normally.
Right, okay.
In some cases, though, if you're doing something really, really stylized, like if type is part of your logo, you may just render that part out as an image. So the words themselves may be it just may be an image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look to see if there's anything else.
I don't really have, I mean, just some little comments with this layout. I feel like the Jerk Shack and the logo should be together somehow. And there's just kind of a little bit of a proportion issue because you have so much detail in that little guy. And then the Jerk Shack, and at that scale, you don't get to really see it all. And then the Jerk Shack is way over on the opposite side.
Right.
Can you somehow combine logo and wording so that it's like all integrated as sort of like one element and have the spirit of the Jerk Shack?
Mm-hmm.
Have fun with it. Like what kind of experience are you going to have at the Jerk Shack? I think you're probably going to have a really fun time. I might play with like taking the lettering and maybe kind of like have the T a little bit higher than the H and maybe skew it a little bit, and then the E a little bit off, that kind of have this sort of fun, playful vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the bottom, and then the type you're using for the menu itself, you might be able to kind of make it a little bit smaller and make it more like, I don't know, menu bar-ish.
Right.
And watch your spacing between the elements themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Your bottom area where you have these content blurbs, you have a pretty large gap between the map and the promotion. So if you're going to use a 2-column, 2 bits of content, I would make that gap, because right now I'm focusing on the space between your map and promotions, as opposed to, they just feel oddly spaced to me.
Okay.
I mean, these are just kind of little things.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as you're working on these, and this goes for everybody, take a look at other restaurant websites and see if you can identify what makes their website look more professional, or, see if you can draw inspirations from other layouts and really look at the proportions of things and how they integrate logo and image and how they, play with the menu bar. You might want to play with a wireframe where the menu bar goes down the left-hand side and see how you can use that space.
Okay.
But keep on trucking with this. Think about how you can visually communicate the fun to be had at the Jerk Shack.
Okay. Yeah, I pulled some photos off of Facebook, like of these drinks and stuff. She posts a lot of photos of the different menu items. So I was thinking I'd put some of those around, and I think that would help.
Okay. It can be fun, but keep it neat and organized. Communicate the fun through the content of the photographs and how you render this logo.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Sarah, did you want to present?
Oh, sorry. I don't really have that much to present right now. I mean, I started drawing out kind of an outline, like a flow chart.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want us to fill in, like on InDesign, all of the pictures where we put these wireframe? I don't know how to explain it. Like with the wireframes, the pictures have like an X through them. Do you want us to put the pictures that we are going to use in there?
That would be in your final design. Hang on one second. Let me change the screen up here so people can see what you're saying. Okay, so your first step, you're going to do your flow chart, which describes the pages and the architecture of the system. And you may be doing stuff like what Mindy is doing, where she's explaining what type of content is on the home page. That's the architecture of the system. The wireframe is just how the pages are going to be laid out.
Okay.
And in that wireframe, you're right. We usually depict pictures with a box with an X through it. So you may describe what types of pictures are going to show there. Like Kate had a box where this is going to be a featured drink item. You know, just describe what it's going to be and how you're going to arrange that on the page. So it's space planning. It's like you're figuring out where your furniture is going to go in your living room. Right? You're space planning and allotting certain areas to certain content. So it's just, you know,
All right,
divide.
go ahead.
And then when you do your final interface design, it's basically taking that wireframe and putting in the color and putting in an actual picture example. So we get a sense of look and feel.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But do you want like a copy of both, like our wireframes and then our final design?
Yeah, if you look at the, hold on, I'm going to share the screen real quick. Okay, if you look at the assignment, so you have the written part. Everybody has done that already. And the flow chart, diagram the structure. What are the pages and features that will be incorporated? Wireframes. You will need to create wireframes for both versions of the site, screen and mobile, as well as a home page layout and one lower level page. Okay. So that's 4 total. Actually, Mindy, you've done more than enough because you're just doing wireframes for one set, one different layout.
It's a 4 total.
Right, because you're doing home page and lower level page for screen and for mobile.
Okay.
So I would kill your second wireframe. I think your first one's much stronger anyway. Okay. So there are 4 wireframes. So how are you going to use this space for the home page on a computer screen? How are you going to use it for a lower level page? And then when it comes to mobile, how are you going to use the home page, and how are you going to use the lower level page? So you're going to do a diagram of where content's going to go for those types of pages for those types of devices.
Okay, because I don't know, I was making wireframes for like multiple pages.
No, you just pick one lower level page. Like the title of the page is going to go here. And then if there are images, they'll show up right here. There's going to be a footer always. It's going to be right there. It's going to be like this. Then it's just one home page, one lower level page. And then where we see 2 sets, so this will be 2 sets of 4. So you're going to do a home page design, lower level page. You're going to use those wireframes and then put color and pictures on top of them in 2 different ways.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this wireframe is 4 different diagrams: home page, lower level page, home page, lower level page, mobile, and screen. And then this set of designs will take those wireframes and you'll do it twice. A set of color type pictures on one, a set of color type pictures on another.
And it's going to be the same wireframes, just different formatting.
Yes, same exact content is going to go in the same place on both sets.
Okay.
So if you decide, if in your wireframe you make a plan and you're like, okay, my menu bar is going to go down the left-hand side, there's going to be an image slider over here, there's going to be 3 content blocks. However you decide, that's how you're going to put the color and the design and the type, you know, that's all gonna be in the design part. So Kate, really, you're playing with fonts and all of that. You don't even really need to do that until you get to the interface design part.
Okay.
So just focus on the layout of the space right now. You can even just put in menu bar right now. And then when it comes to bringing in color and type and all of that, that's where you're going to be experimenting with type.
Okay.
But now you have a sense of how your logo design and your logo space, so you want to accommodate that accordingly. Are you clearer now, Sarah?
Yes. It's tough being all the way across the pond.
Yes. Okay, well, do you, with that in mind, do you want to show anything, or do you guys want to have does anybody else in here have stuff to show?
I could show my proposal, but in my, whatchamacallit, I got 2 things ready, but not the wire.
That's okay. Take
Sure.
advantage of it. Yes,
Okay.
get credit for presenting. Okay, so Matthew's going to present, and then because this project is due next Tuesday, is that right?
Yes,
Do you guys feel like you'd like to have another critique between now and then?
I see it.
It seems like, as far as Sarah's concerned, it probably makes sense to do on a morning, at a morning. I could suggest, let me think for a second. I could maybe do Friday morning or Saturday morning.
Okay. Yeah, I can do either.
Would anybody else be interested in that? Friday or Saturday morning for a critique?
I mean, I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, but I could probably do Saturday morning.
Okay, for people that want it, just think about it for a second.
I could try it. Yeah, I could do Friday.
Friday morning might be a good time. I got to double check my schedule, but I think I could do Friday morning. All right, Matthew, why don't you come up here and present? He's going to present through Mindy's account because it's open.
So,
Friday morning or Saturday morning is going to be remote, by the way. Everybody's going to be on Google Hangout. Nobody's going to be meeting in the classroom if we do a critique then. And keep in mind, on Tuesday, when you present your final project, you'll still have an opportunity to make changes before the final due date, which will probably be like Thursday or Friday later in the week. Okay?
Okay.
do I click on us right here, like this one? Julia?
Click the big one to the right of it, where Sarah, you see Sarah's face, it says you.
Me.
Click that, and then you are screen sharing. So now ignore all the craziness and just pull
Okay.
up your work. So I have to be very unbiased here.
Right? No, tell me. Here, okay. Now, I gotta get my pencil and paper because I have write notes.
Oh, good. Wait, somebody's taking notes during the critique?
I do, because I love it. I love feedback.
I'm being sarcastic because
No, really.
everybody should be taking notes when
Really,
you get feedback.
and like, I'm still stuck on the wireframe because like, I'm just like, I think I know what I want to do with like a slider, but
Okay.
so yeah. So I'm doing the Mod Patch eye patch now because I did the wrong project a little early, but at least I know now what I'm doing for project 2. So basically I was approached by Julia to help her design her website for her eye patch business. I think I even looked up modpatch.com. There's no websites like or domains.
It's not available though. I tried to
Anything?
buy it.
Okay,
I own the domain modpatch iPatch, but modpatch.com.
that'd have been cool.
Yeah. What's so funny, Kate?
No, my boyfriend just woke up and was curious as to what I was doing. So.
Oh, I thought you were like laughing at our thing. Okay.
No, sorry.
By the way, BT Dubs, I want to show you guys something really quickly. I don't know if you realize this, but I don't mean to insult your intelligence if you happen to know this, but if you're interested in domain names, if you go, you may just try to go to modpatch.com or any domain name you're interested in, and it can look like it's available. Did I type that right?
And it could be just parked.
Yeah, it looks like, wow, it's available. But the only way that you know is to go to a registrant. Like, I'm just going to go to GoDaddy right now. But all of,
Boo.
Really, I didn't even know.
Don't use GoDaddy. GoDaddy is the devil.
okay, well, we can use any registrant. All of these registrants are looking, when they search for domain names, they're all looking at one master database. So it doesn't matter which registrant you search. So we want to see if ModPatch is available. Modpatch.com. It says, sorry, it's taken. But we can try ModPatch iPatch. Hopefully it'll say it's taken too. Oh, it's taken. And actually, if I do a whois lookup, you can see that my name is associated with
That's
it.
fine.
That's the real way that you check for domain names.
I'm literally putting down GoDaddy.
Oh, you can.
Use Namecheap.com. Namecheap.com.
There's tons of registrants. You're going to find any registrant is going to give you the same information because it's all checking the same database. It's like looking up a phone number. It doesn't matter what source you use to look it up. They're all pulling.
I mean, if you buy a domain name, don't use GoDaddy like you did.
At least we have options.
Yes, there are options. Okay, so
So-
continue.
It's okay. It's okay. No, I appreciate that. I put that down. That's what I notes. So the ModPatch website will serve as the home base for everything related to ModPatch iPatch. The website will use product information, pictures, and reviews and stories to draw the viewer in and make them want to be involved with the iPatch, ModPatch, and hopefully make a purchase, or these people will make a purchase once they see a little bit more about it and what it's all about. And I love it. I love what you got going. Like, I'm so like
thanks.
excited. Like, this ended up, like, I was stupid and this ended up like happening.
Oh,
like,
thanks.
like you saved me. Thank you. So
Oh, it only has
having already been established on Etsy and Facebook.
You gotta like it.
one like on Facebook. It only has one like.
I know, it's
no,
sad.
It's me too. It's
There
got
too.
one like. What you talking about? There's
Yeah,
two.
I just set up my Facebook page.
3.
Yay! Do it. No, we're
All
gonna
right.
We're gonna get this going.
Okay.
Having already been
I like
established
the
on
logo.
Etsy and Facebook, the ModPatch website will be more of an information kiosk and portal to other established outlets. The ModPatch iPatch are fun, modern, soft, over-the-lens, personalized design eye patches that help individuals suffering from amblyopia,
Amblyopia.
or lazy eye, or in the process of correcting their vision. So, it's not just for kids; adults are doing this too. So don't get like thinking for a second like this is just like little kids, and like because some people didn't have this kind of stuff back in the day, or like their parents like couldn't afford this. So it's not just like oh kitty, because I bet you Miss Julie got some designs coming, or different designs coming her way. So. Normally the hospital, while it will be great, normally the hospital prescribed ones can be tacky and overpriced, but these handmade versions from Julia make a cute and comfortable alternative that doesn't punch a hole in your wallet. People already love it, so more social media followers and customers will be great.
I think in our previous sessions, there are people working on similar type of projects. I think Laura, this is very, I came up with this idea for Matthew because I need to make a website and he's offering to help me. But also, you know, it's very similar to what we talked about with Laura, where you're building a website that's kind of, it connects the presence in all of these other areas like Etsy or Facebook. It's connecting all of those presences. So ModPatch, iPatch, it's a good domain to have. It has the word iPatch in the domain itself. So people may be doing a Google search and stumble upon the website, which leads them to Etsy. Or they may be shopping on Etsy and that takes them back to the website to learn more about it. You know, people who might be looking on Etsy might be like, well, wait, is this a real business? Is this sketchy? You know, like what's the philosophy there? I want to learn more than what's on Etsy. Or wait, I own an optical shop. Can I buy them wholesale? You know, so the idea is to establish, you know, be like have more of a professional, to make a more professional impression, and then also obviously to sell more patches.
Sorry, I'm writing this down.
That's okay. And the one thing with your proposal, I like the fact it's evident to me that you are starting to understand the conditions, you know, and as the web designer, you're the expert, right? I'm going to you, like, tell me what I should be doing to, and you might want to do a little bit of a research. Like, I would be impressed as my web designer if you came back and you said, 10% of the population of kids between the ages of this and this suffer from lazy eye.
It's 200,000 a year. I should have put that in there.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can do a footnote at the bottom of your proposal with stories. Remember, a proposal is...
I did that for the NOAA thing. I talked about like
Yes.
flood damage costs and like
Yes.
fatalities.
Yes,
and stuff.
and when you can make these kinds of statements, like back them up with statistics, that's really compelling, because I'm deciding, do I really want to spend my money to make this website or not? But Matthew's telling me, like, you could have a much bigger reach. And not only, I don't know this or not, I don't know much about amblyopia. I don't. I mean, I just saw the patches and I'm like, well, shit, I can make those.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering too, like, are there adults that have to use them? Typically, I mean, could you get the data for like when they do patching therapy? Is it true, like, how long do you do patching? Probably kids might need like 50 of these throughout their whole, I don't know, I have no idea. But as the expert, you're trying to make a compelling presentation so that I'm like, yes, I want to spend the money, I want to have the website made, let's do this. So
and here's why, because this affects so many people, and like this is obviously going to be necessary or useful.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Think about some of the audience members that could be hitting this site. Let's say Zach's an optometrist, okay?
Yeah.
And he has his eye shop, and he's kind of curious about carrying these patches because he sees a few kids and people ask him about it all the time. So he's doing a Google search and he's like, oh, what's Mod Patch, Hot Patch? Oh, these are some cute designs. He shows it to the ladies in his office.
And they're not just for kids. And they're like designs that aren't just for kids, that are like
Well,
and they got the solid colors.
That's true, but maybe the ladies in his office are like, we need to bring these in, docs. People are asking about these. So he Google searches and he finds out about it. And he's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that many kids need this. Wow. And okay, well, maybe you can't really find these online. Yeah, I should carry these in my store. So think about the audience members. It's not just moms looking for a patch for their kid. It's physicians and optometrists and the buyers, the medical buyers at a hospital, or medical buyers at Zach's optical shop or Webster Optical that you might pass on your way to campus, or whoever it is. It might be the companies that supply the products to the optical shops. I mean, so think about the range of audiences who might be seeing this and want to know more about it. Like, think about the questions they might have and all of that. You know, the materials that are being used. If these are handmade, is she?
And I should include these in the proposal.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking about think in terms of when you're designing. I think you want to create like a compelling argument in your proposal, but I think you want to think about these things as you're figuring out what information you're going to show and how you're going to display the information. Consider all of the potential audiences, right? Right now, this is a little Etsy store, but your job is the reason why we're giving it a website is because we want to put we want this to be a bigger thing than a little Etsy store. You know what I mean?
You want professional looking.
Yeah, and you want people like
connect it all together and show like the story. It's more of like I got like the stories on here, like the testimonies, and then you got like the Facebook link, obviously. But like this is more of like to bring those stories, like the comments we've already seen them,
right?
And they send them their pictures, and well, that's good. No, that's all good.
Yeah, but you want to present an image to the people like Zach's Optical Shop that are like, wait, is this just like somebody making them in their basement? Like, I don't know if I want to bring that up. Yeah, it is actually. But there are no like cats or smokers around, so it's cool. But I mean, you want to present this as like a very capable business and maybe downplay. You can shop if you want to shop them. You can buy them as an individual on Etsy. But if you are interested in wholesale, blah, 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 go, just looking at this flow chart, by the way, so your main donate, I would say there's no reason for donate.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not asking for people for donations. Stories, I would I don't know. I would think that I would take Facebook out, and it's kind of like a lot of sites have sort of linked to the social media presences. You know, you have your Facebook, your Twitter, you know. So I should probably set them up. Assume that I have those. But those are typically like in the header somewhere or in the footer. Here's our link to our social media stuff. So I wouldn't necessarily put that in your main navigation. This is a diagram of the pages that'll be on the site.
Right.
So I would say that your Facebook would be like with your Twitter and everything coming off of your homepage, maybe over to the top and to the side to indicate this is social media.
Okay.
Therefore, you just have stories and you have testimony reviews. I would just combine. I don't really know much difference between stories and testimonials, unless you had a specific.
Well, then taking the Facebook out.
Then I think we have one box there.
Yeah, so it would just be like the about us or contact then.
No, it would just be. I'm thinking you would have home, and then instead of stories, it would be just testimonials. One box.
Replace the word. Okay, I get
And
you.
then cut everything underneath it.
Right.
And then shop, I would make, instead of purchase, I would just make shop. And we can make it a page where you can say, okay, individuals can go to Etsy, and then we'll have some information about wholesale and how to, or retailing or something like that. We want to plant the idea in Zach's head that he could bring them in as a retailer.
Yeah.
So maybe you would have two separate sections, retailing and shop, or or
Instead of
wholesale
purchase.
and then shop, or something like that. Product information, I don't know, that's probably going to be more about, I don't have a lot of product information. That's more like about, you know, you talk about the philosophy and some of the benefits of the product. And then contact. So also, I don't think you're going to have many lower level pages. This is going to be a small site. So this is really about creating a compelling proposal and a really cool looking site.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you are doing, remember this, we talked about this branching structure. If you're indicating that this is a lower level page, you're implying that you have to go to stories and go through here to get to here. Do you remember Mindy's flow chart where she revised this? So it's like, instead of that linear look, I'm going to take over your screen for just a second.
Fine. No, that's fine.
Can you stop screen sharing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so
It's okay. I think I can overwrite. The green, or it says you're sharing, stop. Okay.
Stop sharing.
Can you click on me? There we go. Okay. So what I'm trying to explain is that instead of a flow chart that looks like, you know, you're showing that this is a lower level page of this, right? And by the way, in Illustrator, use your, when you're, I'm trying to duplicate that. When you're doing flow charts, your best friend is your line palette, because you can take all these three things and you say, okay, I want them all to line up that way. And then if you want equal space between them, you just distribute them. So now they're equally spaced. So like, let's say that's too much space. I'm going to move up my bottom one like that. And then I'm going to select all three and say distribute. And now they're all equally spaced. Okay, so in your diagram, you say, okay, this is the page, this is the lower level page, and this is the lower level page. Well, that implies that to go to this page, I've got to go through these two pages, and that's not really the
They
case.
should be on the same level.
Right, so if you're trying to do this for space purposes, what I would do is I would do something like this. Okay, let me line them up again. And then I'll extend this line down. Whoops, I don't need to go that far. There we go. And then now what this is implying is that these two pages are on the same level. Do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't imply that I have to go through here to get to here. These are the same level. And I might, because these are lower level pages, I may make these boxes like a bit smaller to indicate that this is a lower level page as opposed to the Big Mama homepage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I have plenty of space, you could do a branching structure that was horizontal instead. Does this make sense? Kate, you're looking very perplexed.
I'm not perplexed. I just my facial expression.
Okay. So, other tricks in Illustrator I can show you. You can really tone down your line work a whole lot, and it's still like, I would do like a half point or something, or even like a gray line. And then by toning down, whoops, my computer's kind of a mess. By toning down your line work, let's just say that this is home. That's pretty huge, but. All right, so imagine that another trick in Illustrator, let's say you want to control all your lines. I'm going to select this, and you have these select menus where you can say same stroke weight or stroke color, and it's going to select everything that is the same stroke weight. And then you can say, you know what, I'm going to try a stroke weight of 2 points. And do you see how much less the words stand out when I bump up the stroke weight? If I tone these down, so I'm going to say select everything that's the same stroke weight or the same stroke color, and I get all of this stuff. If I tone it down to 0.5, the way I had it before, 0.5 points, now I can still see the structure. The structure is still there, but it's not competing with what's important, which is the content itself. Okay?
That looks wonderful.
So with alignment too, like getting your words aligned in your boxes here, you can do the same thing where you select the box and then you align it center, if you want it to be center aligned. So use this align palette to make your flowcharts look halfway decent. Okay. If you guys think of other things that you'd like me to show you in Illustrator, I can do tutorials for you and just post them as videos, or show you while we have like a little time together, and record it to help guide you with some of this stuff. Do you guys have any other questions, like technical or otherwise? Or if you're having trouble doing anything, if you can send me some requests before we meet on Friday, I'm happy to give you another demo or, point you in the right direction. If you're having if you're new to some of this stuff and it's tripping you up a little bit.
For the, sorry, I have a question, but for the flow chart, do we need to have like an elaborate explanation for our boxes?
No, in like Mindy's case, it was very helpful for me as a viewer to understand that this diagram, she was just mocking up the blurbs on the home page. She was trying to communicate the blurbs on the home page. So your diagram needs to serve the purpose that it serves. So elaborate. Well, it probably is going to be elaborate if it's a pretty complicated structure. But in the case of Matthew's project, his structure is not all that complicated. He only has like a 5 or 6 page site. Kate's site is really not that complicated. I mean, the ones that we've seen today, when you say elaborate, this first project doesn't involve building very big. I mean, it should look nice and it should be legible and we should understand what you're trying to communicate, but only if you're building something really complex is it going to be elaborate.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I showed you guys, I'm working on a project right now, and do you want to see it? I'll show you 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have time? Okay, so, okay. So my family's business is an optical supply company, which is why this is a web-based ordering system called JAOS, which is named after me, Julie's Awesome Ordering System. It was designed to be pretty silly, but now, like, I would say this JAOS portal takes in probably, over $1 million a year of orders. So I designed it and made it in 2007. So it's pretty old. And now when I go present it to customers that may be using it, I'm starting to be struck by how dated it all looks, you know, in the
Yeah.
functionality and everything. But, you know, I built it 10 years ago. Every Clarkson store in St. Louis, they order their optical supplies through this system.
It's wonderful.
So it's really heavily used. So when you log in, let me see. I'm just going to pull up some. Oh. Okay. It's going to take a while to load. This is one of the problems with it. They see a custom order form, and this is like, for example, let's say I work for Clarkson and I'm the manager. I establish this master order form, and which allows this controls what my stores can order and what they can't order. And then some, you know, so it's a whole long order form, and it takes a while to load, and you know, there's some weaknesses with it, but it works and everybody's using it.
Are you gonna fix it?
Well, yeah. So I started to think about how it could be work differently. So I began mocking up. I'm calling it design, and I'll show you some of these are just interface designs of how it's going to work now. So obviously it looks a lot more modern. How did I come up with some of these ideas? Well, our purchasing department, they order supplies from McKesson and Staples and all of these stores. So I sat down with the buyer and I started to look at some of these portals that these companies roll out for, you know, locations. And I started to think about how, so it'd be a quick order form. As you're building your order, it would show up there. And I just mocked it up. Oh, I'm kind of showing very similar things. How a product would come up in kind of a pop-up. So you would look at one product at a time and choose to add it to your order or not. Look at how the interface elements, my line work. Do you see how subtle and light that is? Okay, I'm not saying I'm the best designer in the whole world or anything like that, but I'm trying to tone down the line work in the interface elements so that my content will stand out. Okay, now I have a good idea of the structure of how all of this, oh, so this was an inspiration. You can see I looked at a lot of things and took ideas from other sites. So my flow chart, as I'm building this, well, you can see I'm working on it right now. I can show you the work in progress. It's so this is the work in progress, and you can see some of the same information is there. I don't have, I mean, I have it writing out all these variables so I can see what I'm doing. I mean, I've been mostly working on manage your order form. So this feature allows you to add and remove items from the order form and all of that. Okay, I don't want to bore you guys to tears with this.
No.
But the question,
Your family's rich or something?
yeah, they're really rich. So,
No, seriously.
I don't know.
You said it takes over $1 million a year.
Yeah, but there are like 120 people that work for the company. So,
Oh.
okay, so
Ooh.
when you asked about an elaborate flow chart, I mean, can you see this on the camera? I got to turn the lights on. Will you hit the lights?
Yeah, I got you.
So just to give you an idea, now this is going to look a lot prettier eventually. You guys see? Okay. But you can kind of see that you say big, elaborate. Well, the functionality dictates the elaborateness. And you know, all of these crazy notes and stuff that I write to myself. Obviously, I'm going to eventually mock this up in Illustrator so that if I get killed in a car accident or retire, somebody can take it over and know what I was doing. So when you ask about a big elaborate flow chart, the complexity of the system is what dictates, you know, how big and elaborate it's going to be. Right now we're working on like small websites, so I don't expect that anybody's flow chart is going to be all that big and elaborate. In information architecture, when our focus is in organizing information and revising architectures of systems, those flow charts, and Mindy's taken the course, they were a lot bigger and more elaborate because we were analyzing bigger, more elaborate sites. Right, Mindy? Okay, I will let you guys go. Please, let me just check my schedule, but I'm leaning towards Friday morning. We can say 9 o'clock, I think is gonna be perfect. But I'll post an announcement later today so you guys can plan for it. Think about your technical questions you might have. Use it as an opportunity so that you can be on the right track and knock this out over the weekend and be ready on Tuesday to present a very close to final piece, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
You good out there in cyberspace?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, guys. I will see you Friday then. I'll post it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.